round of the one-on-one free coaching that will start April 1st. Okay, we just did our first round, which was that started January 1st. And okay, the comments are rolling in. We started our first round January 1st. So we coach you one-on-one through the 60-day challenge found at zero-to-diamond.com. So it's a once a week call for 30 minutes that's completely free. So we have another round. We do this every quarter. So April 1st, we will start another round of you guys. There's hundreds of agents already applied for this. We can only handle so many, but if you're interested in that, just go to zero-to-diamond.com and apply there. Or I put a link in the YouTube description if you would like to apply for that and take advantage of our coaching. I have right now, as we speak, 24 certified coaches. So we had 22 certified Zero to Diamond coaches the first round, and we added 2 this time. And the testimonials and results were absolutely out of this world. So I'm really excited about where that's going and this next chapter of Zero to Diamond, if you will, to try to continue to improve the industry. Also, just to throw it out there, we will be in California in the Garden Grove area, which is there by Anaheim and LA. That's going to be May 19th. Tickets are free. There's already over 600 agents registered for that. And we do have limited seating. So there's a link there in the YouTube description as well for that, and at zero-to-diamond.com. So this is going to be the first one out on the West Coast. And I'm just looking forward to coming out there and seeing you guys and doing a great event. It'll be an all morning event, just like the ones that we've done, which will have multiple speakers and panels and tons of value. So I'm looking forward to seeing you guys there. And if you haven't registered at Zero to Diamond, just to be on that platform, it's a social media platform now where you guys can interact with each other, DM, comment, friend people, so on and so forth. Go to zero-to-diamond.com and register for that and check out the new 60-day challenge. And as always, I'm still answering all of my DMs, and you guys have probably noticed that I'm actually answering comments a lot more. I want to go deeper with you guys, my current audience, and really try to bring you guys more and more value. And I think the best way I can do that I've been thinking about over the last couple of months is just to really pour more into your comments and responding. I mean, I've always been good at answering all the DMs, but I want to get better at spending more time in the comment section with you guys on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, all the different platforms. So please keep the engagement up and reaching out to me DM wise if there's anything I can do to help you. I do want to give you guys updates, and I'll be making videos over the next several weeks and months regarding the growth of my personal team that I just started to build, as well as my commercial sales development, among many other things, including staying on top of the market, which I did 2 videos last week on that. I'm going to do some follow-up videos there. So please reach out to me and let me know if there's anything I can do to help you guys with anything in the world. Here to help you. Fixing to bring Tyler on from Redx. This guy is he's been with Redx for a while. Tyler,
what's up, man?
Hey, bud, how you doing?
I'm fantastic. You?
Look at you, man. You that Redx office there in the background is it looks studious, man.
Thank you.
You got some books back there, and
thank you. The real question is the real question, Ricky, is what do you think of the gray?
You know what? I knew something was completely different.
That's what it is.
What's? Tell me the story there.
Well, so we had some events to travel to, and with COVID, right? We used to travel to lots of events, and then before COVID, and then the pandemic happened, and events shut down for a long time, and so I didn't have any polos on hand when we were getting ready to travel to some new events and send some new guys that didn't have some Redx gear. And so I went to go order new polos, and the red that we usually get, I couldn't find it anywhere. And so then it was like, well, I got to go with a different color. Well, this is what I had on hand. I still have that red one that I wear all the time, but this one,
the same shirt you wear every day?
No, I've got multiple of the same shirt. But if you look in my closet, Ricky, it's white T-shirts and Redx shirts. That's all it is.
Cool, man. So today we're going to be covering time blocking, scripts, getting more listing appointments, stuff like that, right?
Yeah. Ultimately, what I wanted to do is I wanted to come on and talk about GeoLeads a little bit. GeoLeads one of the products that your students use with Redx the most. And the reason why is because when you tell people how to build their business, and I've heard you say this on stage, right? If somebody can show me a better, more efficient way to build their business than what I'm about to say, I challenge you to come tell me, because I'm open to that, right? You've always said that. And you've said, look, make 5 new friends a day, get their email address, and send them an email every week on the same day for the rest of your life, right? And if you do that, 5 years from now, you'll have 5,000 contacts in there, and you'll have enough business coming in that you'll be able to build a sustainable business, right? And so I wanted to talk about that because we have made some changes to GeoLeads recently, and where your audience is so full of GeoLeads users, I want to make sure that people are getting what they need and recognize what they could be getting if there's some of these new expanded features that make sense for them. But before we even get into that, I have some content that I wanted to share related to GeoLeads, if you're cool with it. Because GeoLeads is such a versatile tool, and I know that you know this, but GeoLeads it's like leads on demand, right? And that's what's so great. I mean, Redx also a big thing we do, and everybody knows this, is expired listings. The challenge with expireds is you're limited to how many the market produces, and you and I both know right now there's not a tremendous amount of those. Most stuff is selling, not expiring.
But just a side note, Ryan, we could go back 10 years worth.
Correct. Yeah. And going back old expireds is a really, really common thing that people are doing right now. But you're still left with a limited supply. And if somebody's got 2 or 3 or 4 hours a day to prospect, if you're just going to focus on expireds, there's a good chance you're going to run out of them before you run out of time. And that's where the GeoLeads is such an amazing tool, is because it doesn't matter what time of day you're prospecting. It doesn't matter how often or how much you prospect. There's always GeoLeads available. You can always turn those GeoLeads into contacts, which is fantastic. So,
well, I could add that, like what I would say is diversify your prospecting. So get 10 years worth of canceled, withdrawals, and expireds. Have thousands of those in your folder, your expired folder, right? And take Monday and call expireds, right? Whether they're recent or 2 years old or 10 years old. Tuesday, call GeoLeads. Wednesday, call expireds. Thursday, call GeoLeads, right? I think the mixing it up, right, and getting that. What I see, and this is a mistake I see a lot, is the new agents come in and they hear me talk about GeoLeads, and then they just focus on GeoLeads only, right? When, especially as a new agent, you need to diversify, right? And it creates a different energy, because with the GeoLeads or any lead generation, lead gen source, you get into this groove with your script, and then you start kind of saying the same stuff, and you start to get into this kind of stagnant, area of results, where you feel like you're doing all this work. You got to mix it up a little bit, not only for like the different looks of the different types of prospects, right? But it's different type of energy, because you're asking them different stuff, and you're kind of keeping yourself on your toes, and it kind of keeps the energy level up. Whereas you kind of start sounding just monotone, saying the same stuff, right? So diversifying does more than just create a different possibility of a lead coming from a different area. It also keeps you in a better state of mind, as you're prospecting, because prospecting can get daunting, right?
Yeah, I totally agree with that. Is the diversification. I've always said, if you have more than 25% of your business coming from one channel, what happens to your business if that channel disappears? Like if you're only focused on GeoLeads and all your business is coming from there, what happens if all of a sudden you can't prospect GeoLeads? That's a scary thing. Right. But I agree that the mental game is equally as important, if not more, is being able to pick up the phone day after day and make sure that you're making calls with the best energy, with the best of intentions, is a crucial part of that. So I agree with you. I think the mental game, in addition to just diversifying from a security standpoint, is hugely important. So one of the things I want to talk about is I know that we mentioned, I think we advertised some time blocking and some scripting and things like that.
Yeah.
And I want to just mention some of the things that we've come across over the years at Redx that are really common questions that people have when it comes to prospecting. Look, what time of day should I prospect? How long should I prospect? And I know that there's there's 100,000 opinions on this, right? Everybody's got their own experience, and they're going to share the positives and the negatives of their experience. I know that you are kind of in the same boat that we are, where you get to talk to thousands of agents, and you start to recognize and go, okay, well, here's what I see as a common theme, right? And so I wanted to talk on some of those things, and then jump in and we'll show GeoLeads a little bit and show how beneficial it can be. One of the biggest things that I get is one of the biggest questions is when and how often I should prospect. And so I'd love to hear your thoughts here. I actually know what some of the answers you're going to give here, because you and I have done this a lot of times. But there's some interesting things. The most important answer to that question is prospect when you can, right? There's times of days that are more advantageous in terms of connection rates, and I'll talk about that in just a little bit. But if you can't be on the phone during those times, that doesn't mean that you shouldn't prospect at all. It doesn't mean that it's a waste of time. It doesn't mean that it's not going to be productive. And I think that's the most crucial thing is they just need to understand that prospecting in general needs to be this foundational part of our business where we're out there growing and expanding. I mean, I would say that you probably agree with that. Yeah.
Well, 100%. But, for me, and everybody's different. Okay. But I would say most people, especially when you schedule your prospecting after lunch, you just don't do it.
Yeah.
Your day kind of gets away from you, and all of a sudden it's 3. You're like, oh, I don't want to get started because I'm only going to have an hour once I get all set up and push dial. And, next thing you know, the days, or you wait, or you come to, and it's 4:30 and you haven't done it yet. You just went down the rabbit hole of whatever it was that you were doing. I've always found that it's best to knock it out early. 9 to 12 has always been my best, most productive. I'm the wittiest. I'm on top of my game the best, right? I can have those conversations and really give them some value in terms of, being on top of the conversation and really relating to my prospects. It's all around good. Now, here lately, I've had agents that actually have told me that they have better pickup rates during 9 to 12. Like I've had agents, because I had a lot of agents reach out when I first started talking about this, people are at work or this or that. And, I'm going to call between 4 and 6 and this stuff. And I might go for it, right? Because here's the punchline. If I made it calling what most people say is the worst statistical time to make calls, and I created the business you guys all know that I created, that just goes to tell you can make calls anytime and it's going to work. Okay. But I've actually had agents reach out to me and say 9 to 12, I get more pickups during 9 to 12. So take all that limiting belief out of your head, really sit down and think about the fact that you have to get this done. And it's probably the most daunting task of your day. Everything else is fun and gravy. So let's knock it out first, get that out of the way. Let's build our business. Let's make that the priority for the day. And then whatever else we get done after lunch, great. Let's mess around on social. Let's do some research. Let's send out some postcards. Let's do an open house. Whatever the case may be, that's all just a bonus, because if you're not having conversations, none of that other stuff is going to work.
Yeah, I agree. And I agree with the time of day. 9 to 12 is going to be the most effective. In fact, statistically speaking, the best hour of the day for connections is the 8 o'clock in the morning hour. Statistically speaking, you're going to have more people answer the phone during the 8 o'clock hour than any other time of day. The second most common is that 9 o'clock hour. So if you're not on the phone first thing in the morning prospecting, you're actually missing a lot of the conversations that you could be having just because of the time of day. So here's what I usually tell people is when people say, look, if you were just to tell me when to prospect, when should I prospect? And the bulk of your prospecting should be first thing in the morning. Is that's when you're on the phone for a few reasons that you've already mentioned, right? Your mind is sharpest right then and there. You're ready to go. And statistically speaking, you're going to connect with the most amount of people. From there, though, usually what I recommend to people is you should schedule at least one afternoon or early evening prospecting session every week. And the reason why is because there's going to be a number of, especially when you're prospecting to expireds and for sale by owners that are like that low hanging fruit, there's going to be a number of those people that will just never answer at 9 o'clock because of, say, maybe they're at work or they're they're teaching a class or they're attending a class or whatever. So there's going to be times where people never answer the phone. And those are the people in that afternoon prospecting session that you want to go back to, the people that didn't answer the phone the first time. And that way you can mix up the times of day that you're reaching out to people to make sure that you're using that time wisely. Morning is statistically the best. I even see in some of the comments that people are saying, hey, you know what, for me, it's best between 12 and 3. That's fantastic. If you know that for you, don't give up on that, right? That's excellent that somebody even knows that information relative to their business.
You listen, to know that, then that means you must have been making calls 24 hours, right? From 8 to 6, for several weeks in a row to really break down that data, to know for a fact that that's your best time. But here's the cool thing. It doesn't matter if that's a true fact or not. If that's what you believe and that's what you perceive, then that's what you're going to do and that's what you're going to achieve. So whatever you have to tell yourself to make yourself make calls for a good 3 hours a day, then keep telling yourself that. Guys, as well, if you're not a Redx member already, I put the discount link in the YouTube description, also in the Facebook comments, or you can find it at zerotodiamond.com in the 60-day challenge in the second lesson that talks about resources and lead generation tools. Grab the discount if you don't already have an account and get GeoLeads, expireds, and the Storm Dialer. Those are the 3 minimal features that you need with Redx. Tyler's going to go through their extended features for GeoLeads, which is really exciting. You guys that are already members of Redx will be grandfathered in with the current prices and features that you have if you do not want the extended features that he's about to go through. But definitely everyone should have this and everyone should be taking advantage of this.
Yeah, thank you. And I appreciate that. And like Ricky said, if you're already using Redx and you've had GeoLeads for a long time, the new GeoLeads that you buy now has some different features and different pricing associated with it. You're grandfathered in if you're already a customer through Ricky, so you don't have to worry about anything changing on your account. But if you do want to take advantage of the expanded features, then that's an option for you as well. So we'll break all of that down. The other thing here, Ricky, that I wanted to mention that I think gets overlooked all too often is the weekend prospecting session. And I'm a huge fan, as a disclaimer, I'm a huge fan of family time. I believe in a balance between work and life. So weekends are important, but there's a distinct advantage to the Saturday morning or the Sunday evening prospecting sessions that I usually recommend once a month, right? Once a month, use a Saturday between 9 and 12 in the morning and get on the phones or go do stop bys and get a hold of people. Again, the people that you've not been able to speak with during the day during the week, because that's a great time for them to have those conversations and be like, oh yeah, you left me a message. I know who you are, right?
You go back through and you filter out the people who didn't answer and you call that list in the afternoons and on the weekends is what you're saying.
Yeah.
You take the numbers you were calling in the mornings, you go back through and you disposition them correctly. And then you go back and you filter through the ones who didn't answer it or you left a voicemail for or whatever, and you try them again in the afternoon one day a week. You do that, and then on the weekends. I 100% agree, and I tell all, especially part-time agents who, have an 8 to 5, they want to try to kill themselves and do calls after work when you're tired, you've been working all day, and your mind's really not where it needs to be to sit down and really make those calls and be really effective. I think that time is better spent researching MLS, doing social media, doing handwritten notes, developing your weekly email, marketing, branding, training, and stuff like that. I think part-time agents focus on the Saturday 4-hour session, fresh, ready to go. And even the full-time agents who are still building their business. I love the strategy. Take the people you left voicemail for and didn't get or they didn't answer. Try them on Saturday. Try them in the afternoon one day. Somebody asked about the items, the products, the Redx that I recommended. It was GeoLeads, really GeoLeads Plus, right? GeoLeads Plus. Okay, we're fixing to go through that. Expireds. Okay, with expireds, go back 10 years worth of expireds, withdrawals, and cancels. And your storm dialer. I mean, you have to have the dialer. That's what makes all this really make sense.
Yeah, the dialer is a crucial thing, and this is off topic from what I plan on talking about. But the dialer is one of those things, Ricky, that I'm a huge proponent of using a dialer simply because of two things. Number one, there's such a small learning curve using the dialer that it's one of those things that you can just pay the fee and you're automatically better, right? It's not something that there's a whole new learning curve that you have to learn. You pay the fee, you start using it, and you're automatically faster at what you're doing. That's just one of the huge benefits. The fastest hand dialers I know are making somewhere between like 15 and 25 calls in an hour. Whereas even on the slowest settings of the dialer, you're somewhere like 40 to 50 calls in an hour.
Yeah.
And depending on settings, you can be upwards of 120 or even 150 calls in an hour. So the dialer is huge for that reason. But here's the other reason that I like the dialer that I think gets overlooked is the forced focus that it makes you have, right? Every time you pick up your phone when you're dialing by hand and you hang up, that's a moment that you have to overcome the urge to check Facebook, to get up and go use the restroom. There's this constant urge that we have to not pick up the phone and make the next phone call.
Yeah.
And that is hard for people to overcome at times. But the dialer is so nice because it's right there in front of you going, hey, press this button to make the next call. Press this button and it make the next call. It's like having blinders like a horse, right?
Right. Yeah.
So
not only that, like the time it takes you to hang up and then look at the number and then dial it. I mean, all that instead of just instantaneously.
Yeah, it's this forced level of focus that we all want to have in our business. It's just the challenge of fighting.
I'm just mad that it wasn't around when I was making calls.
Right? In fact, I can imagine if 2008, 9, 10, 11, 12, if you'd had the dialer during that time,
it would have been over, bro.
Yeah, game changer. I mean, you were crushing it by hand, let alone without a dialer.
By the time I realized like all this existed, my business was built,
Right.
But it's cool. So yeah, let's dive into it, man. Let's see what we got.
Let me jump in. I'm going to share, and let me make sure that I am sharing the right thing here with the platform that we're using. Okay, so everybody should be looking at my screen here. So let me do a couple of things here to maximize what you guys can see on the screen.
Okay, I got to share that. Okay, you can.
Okay, there we go. Perfect.
Yep.
So for those of you who are familiar with Redx, this is a very familiar page that you're looking at. This is the list view of Vortex. Vortex is Redx's lead management platform that you get whenever you buy any of our products. So even if you just get the dialer, if you get expireds, if you get FSBOs, whatever it is, you get Vortex with it. Vortex is a lead management platform. It's not going to replace your CRM that you're using. It's not going to replace. It could replace other programs, but most people treat their leads differently than they treat their contacts. And so we have different platforms and different processes for each of those. And so in this particular situation, most people are going to use Redx in addition to whatever lead management platform that they're covering. And what that does is it allows you to treat your leads differently than your contacts with different processes. Once you convert leads to contacts, then you can easily move those over. But let me show you the GeoLeads tool, because again, Ricky has said for years, he's said that the most cost-effective and simplest way to build your business is talk to 5 new people a day, make 5 new friends every day, gather their email address and send them an email on the same day of every week until you die. And if you do that, you will build a phenomenal business over the course of 5 years, and have enough business to keep you going at the level of production that you'd like to be at. So GeoLeads is so cool because it's so simple to use. By clicking the GeoLeads tool right up here in the toolbar, it pulls up the GeoLeads map here. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to come in here and I'm going to randomly pick a spot in the town that I live in. And I'm going to drop some pins on the map here around these 9 city blocks here. When I hit preview, what'll happen is you'll see it's going to drop a blue pin. Those are previous searches that I've done. I'll hide that for you. It's going to drop a blue pin. I hope that this shows up okay in the sharing. It's going to drop a blue pin on every single one of the homes in that particular area. Now, this button up here, this Get Leads button, if I were to hit this button, what it's going to do is it's going to take all of those addresses and properties. It's going to go through and aggregate all the homeowner data for me, all the names and the phone numbers of all of those owners, and put it into a folder for me. But there's even even some filtering and things that I can do. If I'm prospecting, I might not want to prospect to somebody who is, brand new in their home. Maybe I only want to talk to people that have owned their home at least 2 years or more. Well, now when I hit this preview button, you'll see there's going to be some gray pins mixed in there. The gray pins are those that have been owned less than 2 years. And so when I create that list of leads, it's not going to pull the data for those, because I'm not going to prospect to those. But with this information, then I can get in and prospect. So here's a list of GeoLeads that I pulled. And you can see here, it's going to give me their names, their phone numbers. It's going to give me possible email addresses if you have the GeoLeads Plus, and we're going to go into some of the differences between the two.
And also, guys, I see a lot of questions in the comments and stuff. We're going to get to the Q&A afterwards. And also, my mic has been off the whole time, so I'm sorry. I've probably sounded like crap over here, but I think I got it all hooked up now. It's sounding better.
Okay, so yes, we will address questions here at the end. And all the data is right here. So as I'm prospecting, I can be using the dialer. The dialer will go through and call each one of these one after the other. It's going to make it super, super simple. But this is not a demonstration of Vortex. We want to talk about GeoLeads specifically. The GeoLeads is so cool because of how simple it is to use. So whether you're drawing boundaries on a map like I just showed you, or maybe you're prospecting around an expired listing, you can select that particular property and then hit that GeoLeads button. It'll pre-populate the address there. And then I could say, you know what? I want the closest 100 homes and homeowner information to that property there. And I'm going to click the Get Leads button, and it's then going to search for all of that information. Usually it takes anywhere from 20 to 45 seconds. So it's really, really quick to spit out those leads. I used the phrase earlier. I said leads on demand. That's kind of what it is. I need leads. I go in here and I generate them. It's really, really simple. And once they're in my system, they're here to stay. And so it's really, really cool for that reason. But let me jump in here and show. I even see some of the comments. People are going, what are these new features? Let me show you a couple of things. I am going to, I've got an image of it to make it easy for everybody. So let me break this down and share that screen there. Okay, so you should be looking at that screen, that slide that I have up right there. We have two versions of the GeoLeads product. We have the GeoLeads, and then we have the upgraded GeoLeads Plus. The GeoLeads tool consists of 2,500 searches per month. So you can search up to 2,500 properties per month, and we're going to spit out all of the names and all of the phone numbers for each of those owners. There are situations where we don't find owner names and phone numbers, and we're not looking for commercial properties. That's an important thing to note also. But we are going to find the vast majority of the owner names and the phone numbers, and we're going to give you that information for 2,500 properties. Now, that 2,500 is a use it or lose it. So it doesn't roll over and you don't keep accumulating. So usually what I recommend for people is every single month, make sure that you take full advantage of the $60 that you're spending. You want to make sure that you're pulling all 2,500 of those leads. Even if you're not going to prospect them right away, you can pull that data, drop it into a folder, and it'll exist there forever. But over here on the right-hand side of the screen, you see GeoLeads Plus. GeoLeads Plus has 7,500. So not 2,500, not 5,000. It's 3 times as many leads, 7,500. So if you're the master prospector and you are and you're prospecting a significant amount of time and leads, this one makes a ton of sense. 7,500 leads plus the owner email addresses in addition to the names and phone numbers. So we're searching for the email addresses as well. But one of the expanded features is now the GeoLeads Plus includes all of our data insights. And so let me show you the data insights, because this is pretty cool information that's provided for all of these leads that does exactly what the name of the product does. It gives you insight into the person that you're communicating with, that then helps you to craft a better conversation so that when you're on the phone with that person, it's going to go the way that you want it to as often as it can. So let me show you this. Over on the right-hand side, the first I'm going to show you is the market insights. Now, a lot of this information you'll probably know off the top of your head for your market. You'll be able to know what our average days on market is. You'll know what your average price per square foot is. You'll know that information specific to your marketplace. You may even have a few areas within your marketplace that you know that information off the top of your head. But what Market Insights does is it uses the zip code of every particular address, and spits out all of that information for that particular zip code. So when you're on the phone with those people, this information is right here at your fingertips. Things like the median list price of brand new listings, price per square foot, average days on market, median days on market, price decreased or increased, properties that have relisted or inventory, median rent, market action. So you can see all of this information here. And then down below, there's graphs with rolling 90 and 7-day averages for each one of these. So I can go to my average days on market for this particular zip code and have all of this information at my fingertips. Now, all that information is there for both houses. And then you can see here, I can click on condos and see all of that same information for condominiums versus single family residences. So the market insights by itself is all about allowing you to be the market expert. So when you're on the phone with these people, you're going, hey, here's all of the information. Here's what I've provided. Here's what the market's doing. Here's what it's done. And that information is all right there at your fingertips, which is really, really cool. The other thing here is our 3 other data insights. We have financial, we have home and building, and we have lifestyle and interest insights. And this information is provided for these properties, again, with the GeoLeads Plus. And so you can see here some of the examples of financial data that we're providing is we're giving a household income range. We're giving an estimated mortgage debt, estimated equity in the home. A wealth score will give you an estimated net worth in a lot of situations, education level, length at the residence. Are there children in the home? So there's all kinds of information that helps you craft a conversation as you're talking to people. Now, you wouldn't use this data and call somebody and go, well, hi, Kendra, I notice you have children in your home, right? You're not gonna creep people out. But when we're building relationships are often built on common ground. We build trust when there's commonality with people. I always use the example. I say my kids have a college that they root for, and anytime we're traveling and we see them rooting, we see somebody wearing a hat or a T-shirt, my kids are always like, "That's our school," right? There's automatically this common interest that you have and share with people that builds this instant relationship, and that's what this information is all about, is helping you to build trust and information. So you have some information about their home, for example. You can see the home and building details. You can see everything about the home, and then you have even lifestyles, right? So it might tell you that they're a golfer, that they're interested in golf. And if you're also a golfer, you might work that gently into the conversation to build common ground with somebody. You might say, well, the other day when I was out at Sleepy Ridge and we were hitting the back 9. Well, then all of a sudden that person goes, oh, this guy that I'm speaking to is also a golfer. And automatically there's some common ground. It also gives insight into what this person might be doing. If you look and see presence of children in the home in a 1,200 square foot home, they might be looking at growing and upsizing and moving into a bigger place. So there's insight that this information gives you that is hugely, hugely important and valuable when you are crafting conversations with people. And so, again, let me go back to the other slide to show you the difference between the 2 products. Is you have GeoLeads, that is our standard product, includes the owner names and the phone numbers for 2,500 properties per month. The GeoLeads Plus is 7,500 leads plus the names and phone numbers and the owner email addresses and all 4 of those data insights for your GeoLeads. These are the retail prices for the 2 of these: $59.99 a month for the GeoLeads, $119.98 for the GeoLeads Plus. Normally, Redx has a setup fee when you start up a new account. If you use Ricky's link, or if you call in and want to have additional questions that we don't answer today and speak to a salesperson here, make sure that you mention Ricky's name, because we'll waive that setup fee for you. So if you use Ricky's link that he's put in the YouTube description, the Facebook comments, it will bypass that $150 setup fee, and it's on a month-to-month contract. It's monthly. You can cancel it anytime. Super, super easy. The GeoLeads and the GeoLeads Plus, we've made changes to these over the last few months, simply because of the requests and demand from our customers. In the past, GeoLeads used to only be 2,000 leads. GeoLeads Plus used to only be 5,000 leads. But we found that people were constantly wanting more. They're growing their businesses in a way that they needed more than either 2,000 or 5,000 leads in a month. Hence the increase in these leads to these numbers that you see here on the screen now. Likewise, we found that the email addresses, the data insights, those were being requested on people that were generally prospecting a larger number of leads. And so what we did is we bundled all of that together at the low price of $119.98. The data insights by themselves typically are $100 a month product. So if you've got expireds and you want to add the data insights, it's $100 a month to add that. So where you're getting 3 times as many leads on the GeoLeads Plus, plus the email addresses, plus the data insights, it's a screaming deal if you're leveraging that. If you're not utilizing all of that information, then just go with the GeoLeads at the $59.99. Super, super simple, easy to get set up, easy to create an account, whether you do that online or communicate with somebody over the phone. Really, really, really simple to do. Ricky, I'm gonna leave GeoLeads on the screen if that works for you while we go over some of the questions that people might have in case it's a visual thing. Does that work for you?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, let's dive into this. So the first question is I'm subscribed to GeoLeads Plus and trying to understand this new feature. So basically,
yeah, so if somebody has GeoLeads already, if they've been a customer of Redx for a while with GeoLeads Plus, they have the old GeoLeads Plus product with only 5,000 leads per month. If that's sufficient,
actually 2,000.
Well, GeoLeads Plus would have been 5,000.
Oh, I think 2,000. Yeah.
Plus. Yeah. So if what you have is sufficient, no need to make a change, right? You've been grandfathered in with those with the older product and pricing, and no need to change if it's working, right? But with the GeoLeads Plus, if you're currently paying for GeoLeads Plus at $100 a month, the extra $20 gets you not only 50% more leads than what you already have, but it also gets you all of the email addresses. It gets you all of the data insights as well. So if there's value to you in adding getting that many more leads, getting that much more information, then the extra $20 is well worth it to upgrade to the new GeoLeads Plus versus stay at the old one where you're at.
Yeah, and so let's see. Somebody else asked, for each of these Geo and GeoLeads Plus, are we getting a new set of 2,500 or 75 a month? Can someone clarify? Yes.
Yep. So every month you'll have a new set of 2,500 leads that you pick from your area. So, like I said, it's use it or lose it. If you don't use all 2,500 in a month, it just resets to the 2,500. They don't roll over. So you'd want to make sure every month you're leveraging that and getting the best bang for your buck, getting all of those leads out and storing them in folders over here within Vortex. So you can see you'll just create folders. You can do it based on geographic area, based on the date you pulled it, however you want to do that. But once you pull that data, the leads exist in there and they're there to stay as long as you maintain an account.
These are targeted. You actually pick the exact property owners that you want to contact. You need to use all 7,500 credits every month. Even if you don't call them, you need to locate them, get the data, put it in a folder so it's sitting there because it's not going to roll over. All right. And once you do this, someone's asking, does it upgrade the old GeoLeads? I think the only thing extra you're really getting there as far as the lead is concerned, I mean, you're getting more leads, but the only thing extra, I guess, is getting added to it is the email address, right?
Well, not with standard GeoLeads. It's just an increase in the amount of leads they're getting.
Not with standard GeoLeads, yeah. But if you get GeoLeads Plus, I guess it's not going to go back and give you the emails for the old GeoLeads you've already pulled.
Correct.
Right.
Yeah, just the stuff that you research moving forward.
Guys, if you have questions, go ahead and put it in the chat. I mean, as you can see, we want to blow through questions for you guys and make sure we get everything answered. Do you label the folder before or after you pull the GeoLeads?
So you can always rename the folder. By default, if you're doing a search around a particular address, then it's going to label the folder with that address. If you're doing the boundaries where you're not searching a particular address, you're just searching an area that you've drawn a map or drawn a boundary around, it uses today's date. You can rename any of these at any time. So if you want to come and rename it, the name of the subdivision, you could do anything like that. You could, most common I think people will do a subdivision or date or even zip code, right? You might do a bunch of searches and dump them all into one folder for a specific zip code.
And you can also pick the subdivision. You could name, you could hit a house in the subdivision, put the address of that one house in the subdivision in there, and then click neighborhood or subdivision, and as long as you put the number of leads that you want, surpasses the number of houses in the subdivision, you'll collect all those, everyone in the subdivision, plus if there's some left over. Say if you put 200 and there's 180 in the subdivision, it'll collect 20 more from nearby subdivisions to throw in there to get to that 200 number. Nevin here says, I'm a very experienced cold caller and I go after distressed properties or off-market properties. Which of these are best for me to go after as a realtor investor?
So that's a great question, and there's going to be a few opinions. I'll share mine. If you're looking for off-market properties, especially distressed properties, Redx does have a pre-foreclosure list. So anything that's been filed with the county, anybody who has a list pens or an NOD filed with the county, we can capture that information, aggregate the homeowner contact info, provide that to you. That's $40 a month for the pre-foreclosures for a county. That's a good area to go. That's a good spot to go. The other thing that you can do is with GeoLeads, once you have a list of GeoLeads pulled, you can actually then filter for non-owner occupied properties. And so you can see this list that we're looking at right now. There's 99 properties in this particular list. If I go in fact, I'll just show you, it's super simple to do. But if I go in here to filters, I want to come in here to let's see which one. There it is, non-owner occupied. So 16 of those 99 are non-owner occupied. And what we're doing is we're showing you the owner's names, not the tenants most of the time. We're looking for the owner's names, not to say that we won't find tenant information now and again. But our goal is to provide you with the owner contact information of the property, regardless of whether or not they live there. So these 16 people would be really good to call and ask, hey, that property that you have in Payson, Utah, are you interested in selling that property? Or do you have other properties that you're interested in offloading? So in addition to like the pre-foreclosure leads, I think the GeoLeads with this absentee owner filter is a really, really good way to look for distressed properties and potential fix and flips and potential rentals.
Cool. Okay, we're in the lightning round here. So we have a lot of questions here. We'll blow through them as quickly as we can so we can get to everyone's question. First question here: how much is the dialer and GeoLeads Plus? So what would that be?
So if you did the dialer and GeoLeads Plus, if you did single line dialer, it's usually $100 a month. And if you did the GeoLeads Plus at 119, you'd be $219.97, I think. And again, on a monthly basis. And super simple to use and set up. We also, for everybody who's considering setting up a new account, anytime you add something new to your business, there's a slight learning curve. I don't want that to deter anybody. We have amazing support here in office at Redx, an amazing customer success department. We also have amazing training content as well. The truth is, we're a for-profit business, right? Which means if you come in and use our product and use it well, we believe that you'll continue to buy from us, and that's in everybody's best interest. And so we do everything that we can to help you be successful, to help you to succeed at not just using our platform, but using it in a relevant way that helps you to be successful. When you pair what Redx can do to train you on how to use our platform with what Ricky and Zero to Diamond do to train you on the skills and habits and scripts and that sort of thing, hands down, an amazing, amazing combination that will benefit you for years in your business.
What's the difference between Preview Line Dialer and Power Dialer?
That's a good question. Preview Line Dialer is kind of the dumbed down version of the dialer that is, it's like the bare bones feature. It's stripped down. The big value of it is the focus that it provides. It provides click to call within Vortex. Some really neat things that you can do really simply with Preview Line. But for another $40 a month, the Power Line Dialer is so much better. It's much more feature robust. It has things like call recording. It has things like time zone protection. You can set ring timeouts and leave pre-recorded voicemails. With the Preview Line Dialer, all of that is stripped away. It's basically just I'm dialing right through the system with very limited features. I recommend at least the Power Line, if not the multi-line, for anybody who's getting in and using it.
Okay, so we'll need to pull a new set of all GeoLeads we want the data insights for. So will the data insights move over to those older
They,
data?
they won't. Unfortunately, they
Okay.
won't. So actually, the data insights will exist because oh no, I'm sorry. I'm saying two different things. The market insights will exist because all we have to
Okay.
have is the zip code for the property. But the
Okay.
financial, the home and building, and the lifestyle insights won't backdate to properties that
Okay.
already exist in your Vortex.
Got you. Are we able to export and work it off a spreadsheet if we would like?
Yep, absolutely. It's as simple as selecting the leads that you want and going export. Really, really simple. 2 clicks of the mouse and I had it done there.
GeoLead, $59.99 a month. Do we get email addresses, owner name, and cell phone number?
For $59.99, you get 2,500 leads. That one does not include the email addresses. It does include owner names and phone numbers, regardless of type of phone number. We'll even try to differentiate what type it is. So you can see here on the left-hand side, mobile, landline. Sometimes you'll see VoIP if it's a voice over IP phone number like Skype or Google Voice or something like that. And so we're searching for a 10-digit number for that person, regardless of what type of phone number it is or what type of phone it is, whether it's landline, mobile, or VoIP. We're looking for all of them.
Got you. So some people may not be clear on this. If you already have GeoLeads, you grandfathered into GeoLeads Plus. So GeoLeads, you're grandfathered into your current plan. Okay,
Mhm.
so whatever you have right now, you keep, because GeoLeads, as you have it now, where it was $49.99, doesn't exist anymore. Okay, the GeoLeads product is $59.99, which is 2,500 leads instead of 2,000. Okay, so you're grandfathered in if you want to just keep it at the 2,000. That's what you're grandfathered in for. You're not getting automatically upgraded from GeoLeads to GeoLeads Plus, right?
Yeah, but if that extra information if there's value in that to you, the GeoLeads Plus is well worth it, not just from a sheer lead count perspective, but also from those other data products that I've showed you.
Without going into a full-blown deal, and I can just bring the screen share back if we need to, but how do you filter those who answered and who haven't answered, so that you can turn around and recall them?
So it's really, really simple to do with our filtering, and that's actually a really good training question. But over here with the filtering, there's a few ways to do that. You can do that with dispositions in the dialer. Every time you make a phone call using the dialer leaves a result of what happened, whether they answered, they didn't, you left a voicemail, it was a wrong number, they're interested, you set an appointment. All of that data gets recorded, and there's simple, easy ways to filter that. Once you have the account, though, the best thing to do would be there's a few methods of training that you could go to. If you want to chat with a support representative, you can do that right here. It'll just pull up a chat right within Vortex. If you want to call in and get one-on-one support with somebody over the phone, that's what I like to do. For whatever reason, I feel like chat is just not as effective for me personally, the way that I communicate. I'd rather ask a question, get an answer. We also have a Redx forum if you want to communicate with other Redx users, and we have online help. Great articles, great videos. There essentially any way that you want to learn how to use the system, we make that possible for you.
So you can upload your own phone list if you would like to dial them with the dialer.
Yeah, absolutely. So if you wanted to bring your past client database, your whole database, absolutely. It's as simple as importing this here with import custom data, grab a CSV or an Excel spreadsheet. Most of the fields will even map automatically. It's super, super simple to do. Really easy to bring that in here, and then it'll live under the My Imports. You can create custom folders and things. Really easy to do.
Does the storm dialer pop up as spam or not? And what is the ratio of current info versus, he says later, outdated info?
Gotcha. So let me address the dialer question first, and then we'll talk data quality because that's an important one. What shows up on the dialer is the number that you put in. Now, one of the requirements there is that you have to own that phone number. So whatever phone number you put in, we have to be able to verify that you own that. We do that by sending a text message or making a phone call, giving you a code, and you put that code in online to verify the phone number. The more often, so most of the time, people who are prospecting using their cell phone, they're going to put their cell phone number in as the caller ID. and that actually minimizes the risk of your phone number being marked as spam. It doesn't overcome that risk all the way, but it does minimize that by doing that. As soon as you put in, like if you put in your cell phone number to prospect with, and then you put in, say, your office number as the number you want them to call you back on, or what you want them to see on caller ID, the moment you do that, you run the risk of getting marked as spam faster. And the reason why is because the cell phone providers that you're using and that the customers are using can verify and know whether or not the phone numbers originated from those. That's how spam is. That's how those spam likely, or telemarketer calls are. That's how they're marked. So there's ways around that. If you want to just burn phone numbers and get new phone numbers from I know there's apps out there that provide phone numbers. You just pay a fee for everyone.
We use Burner app.
Yeah, the Burner app. That's a real common one.
We use Burner app. It gives you 3 per month. You flip them out and you rock and roll, right?
Yep. Yeah. And then when one gets marked as spam, you see that your contact rates go way down. That's a pretty good indicator that phone number is being shown as spam. So you put a new one in there. We verify it with a text message and keep going.
So these are absentees, right?
So depending on when that question was asked and what was on the screen, the answer to that is yes. But once you have a list of leads in Vortex, we can then filter out non-owner occupied properties, absentee owners. So this list that you're looking at right here, once I filtered it down, it went from 99 down to 16. 16 of the 99 were absentees. And that's a pretty valuable list to use in different situations.
Somebody heard there's scripts included.
So we provide scripts default with Redx. I'm a huge fan of Ricky's way of doing business. If you want to grab Ricky's scripts, it's as easy as copy and pasting those right in here into our platform. So you can literally just edit this. And if you want to replace the Redx script, great. If you want to add a new one, you could label this Ricky's GeoLeads script. You could have Ricky's expired script, whatever it is. You can copy and paste that information in there. We do provide scripts, but Ricky's are fantastic. The key, and we didn't touch on this, and I'll take just 30 seconds here to talk about why it's important. A lot of people look and they go, I don't use a script. I don't want to sound like a telemarketer. I don't want people to feel like I'm reading off a page. I get it. I totally understand. But the reason that great prospectors use a script is because the script is an outline that helps you get from point A to point B as often as efficiently as possible. If your goal is to gather 5 new email addresses every day, there's a right way and a wrong way to do that. There's things that are the right thing to say and things that are the wrong thing to say. Having a great script is all about practice, right? It's taking Ricky's scripts and practicing those enough that pretty soon it's not Ricky's script, it's your script that you've internalized, and you know that based on what they say, you know that the next best thing to respond with is something that Ricky taught you. So it's all about practice with scripts. If you're new to a script, you've got to give it a solid 90 to 180 days before you write that script off, because it's going to take that long for most people to become comfortable enough that it's no longer a script, it's been internalized.
And just so you guys know, if you don't already, my scripts are in the second lesson of the 60-day challenge at 0to-diamond.com. A link is in the description there. Go there, create an account, and check the 60-day challenge out and grab the scripts. They're right there. It's all free. Let's see. We got tons more questions. And before we answer a few more and call it a day here, if we do not get to your question, feel free to put it in the comments of this video that will be right here on YouTube on this same link afterwards, and or just send me a message on Instagram if you have any questions, anything else that we did not answer, or anything I can do to help you. Feel free to reach out there. Let's see. Go ahead.
Well, I was going to say the other thing is if they want to call in and speak to a member of our staff here,
Sure.
they can do that as well.
Absolutely.
Our number is 800-731-7339. You can speak to anybody here and ask all of these questions if we don't get to them. There's so many questions coming in so quickly that, I don't know that we're going to get
how much is the multi-line dialer?
The multi-line is $149.99.
Okay. Let's see. If you had a Redx account back in the day and you sign back up, will the account still be there with all the original stuff, the drop voice messages and stuff like that?
Yep. As long as you reactivate the old account, don't go set up a new one with a different email address. Call into my staff here, reactivate the old account, all the old leads, all the old settings, everything will be there.
Let's see. I'll answer this. I've seen Ricky dialing by hand. Would it perhaps be best to start out without the dialer, then graduate to the dialer? No, not at all. The reason why you saw me dialing by hand is because that was before these dialers even existed. That was videos you probably saw me doing back in 2017, 18, stuff like that. No, you should at least, actually, the graduation should actually be the preview line dialer, right? And then move up to the single line dialer and then the multi-line dialer as you become more versatile and you understand the system a little more. But absolutely use the dial. There's no reason why you shouldn't, because it just auto dials while you're sitting there. You put an hour or two aside. Really, you should be doing 9 to 12 if you're full time, and just let that sucker run.
Yeah. Ricky, will you put your link in the comments one more time there? There's several people asking for the phone number. Well, put your Redx link in there, because it'll take them to Redx's page. It'll make sure they get the setup fee wave, but it also has our phone number there. So if they want to call, gotcha, rather than me repeating the phone number again a bunch of times.
Yeah, there you go. Let's see. Too many questions to answer, too little time, guys. Please reach out to us if we didn't get to you. We hope that we did answer most of your questions, and that that you guys take this and just go out there and crush it. And I love the new features. I love the fact that we're getting more leads, and we're actually, with the GeoLeads Plus, getting those market insights and the financials and stuff of our property owners. It gives us a little more insight to be able to create those relationships and go a little deeper. So no, I'm just excited for you guys to come out with this and to share it with my audience here so they can take advantage of it. And
absolutely.
Yeah, no, I just appreciate you coming on and spend some time with us today. And as always, it's a good time. And guys, we'll see you guys soon. And feel free to reach out and catch me on Zero to Diamond, catch me in California. And let's just keep moving forward. Talk to you guys soon.